Okay, guys. So first thing, as I was telling you, data types. So, so before going into the specifics of Python, let us get to understand the importance of data types in any of the programming language. Why is it considered as such an important topic? Okay, so first thing, let us analyze what is data types. So in that, let us take first the word data. So you all know that data means information. So data is going to be some information that we are going to be collecting. Okay, now let us take, suppose you are going to collect some information regarding a student. What type of data I can collect when it comes to a student? So first I can say a name. So I will be asking the student name. Then, of course, age. Okay, then what is his qualification? What has he done? Gender. I can ask his mobile number, email ID, address. Okay, his average, his percentage. So like this, there are many informations, a lot more are there. So these are all the informations that I can collect of a particular student. So when I talk about these information, we can see that these information can be categorized into different types. What do you mean by that exactly? Is when we talk about a name usually consists of a group of characters. So that type of data, we call it as a string. So anything that consists of a group of characters. And when I say characters, the characters can be alphabets, the characters can be any numbers, the characters can be any special symbols. So it can be of any of these types. So that comes under the category of a string. So when I talk about an age is always represented by a number. And to be more specific, this number is always a whole number. If anyone asks you for your age, you will always say, my age is 10, 12, 18, 20, 21, whatever. Right. So, have you heard of any person saying their age is 18.5, 14.3, anything like that? No. So, age is a value, age is going to be a data which is always going to be a number, and more specifically to say, it is always going to be a whole number or a full number. Right. So then again, I'm going to ask about the qualification. Okay, what have you completed? So I can say I have completed BE, BTech, or I have just completed my 12th standard. So like this, there are many things that the student will be saying for his qualification. So again, qualification is going to come under the category of a string. So then when we talk about a gender, so gender we usually represent by male, or we call this as female. So a single character. We associate gender with a single character. Then next comes a mobile number. Mobile number, again it is numbers, and again it is going to be a whole number. Mobile number cannot have any decimal values, any fractional values. So there it goes. Then email ID. So email ID again falls under the category of a string. So when you create an email ID, you can see alphabets in it. You can see some special characters inside that. Even email IDs can contain some numbers. So like that, so it is going to belong to the string category. Again, when I talk about address, again it is a string. Then when I talk about percentage, now here percentage comes under the category called as floating point values. So floating point in the sense it is going to contain some fractional values or some decimal values. Say for example, I ask what is your percentage? You can say my percentage is 90.2 or 80.7. So like this, they will be saying some point value possibility is always there when it goes for percentage. So this type of data comes under the type called as floating point. Okay, so the information that we are going to gather from a person can be categorized into different types, and these are some of the types. So basically, it can be a string, it can be a whole number, it can be a single character, or it can be a floating point value. So these are the basic data types that we can see in any programming language. I'm not talking particularly about Python. I'm saying this in general. So for all the programming language, this is a common information. Right. So, right. Now, these are the different types of data. Okay. Now, why is this data type so important? Why is that so much of importance is given to it? Right. Let us try to understand that second point now. First thing is, what are we going to do with all this information we are collecting? I am going to store this information and keep. Say, for example, okay, let us take a very, very simple example. I'm going to develop a gaming app, a mobile gaming. Okay, and I am very particular that this game should be played by people who are, say, above the age of 15. So, whoever is above the age of 15 years only are eligible to play the game that I am going to develop. Right, so this is the scenario. For this, okay, now I have developed the game, I have written the coding. Okay, now I am going to put this in Play Store. So it is an Android game, so I'm going to put it in Play Store. So you all, what do you do? Whenever you require an app, what we do? We open our phone. So if it is an Android mobile, we open the phone, we go to Play Store, we download the app, we install it, then we start using it. This is the normal procedure, right? So, but my game has a small point. I am saying this is only for the person whose age is above 15 years. So what I am going to do is, when I have designed the code in such a way that as soon as the person downloads and installs my app, okay, you have downloaded and installed my app, it will ask you, okay, what is your age? So you're going to enter some value. Okay, that value, I am going to store it somewhere in my program. Why I have to store it? Because once the information gets stored, then using that information, I am going to perform some validation. And what is the validation here? Checking the age whether it is greater than 15 or not. That is going to be my validation. So I am going to make use of the data that you have given me inside my program. So for me to do that, I need to store that data first. So store it and keep it somewhere. Then whenever it is required in my program, I can make use of it. So like same way, I am maintaining a scoreboard. Let me say my program is maintaining a scoreboard. So whoever is like the player with the highest points, their names needs to be displayed in the scoreboard. I'll say this person is the top, this is the second place, this is the third place. Like that, I want to display the name. So for that, what I'm going to do? Again, when you're installing the app, it will ask for a name. It will say enter your name. So either you can enter your own name or you can keep some fancy name for yourself and you will enter that name here. So again, I'm going to store that name inside something and keep it, because in my program, I'm going to make use of it. Where? In the scoreboard. To display the scoreboard, I'm going to make use of this name. So like this, the informations that I'm going to gather needs to be stored and kept so that I can make use of it in my program. Right. So this is the purpose of gathering that information. Now understand how is data types related to this. Now, one of the biggest, advantage of or the concept why the data types is so important is the data types actually decide the memory. Data type actually decides the memory. Okay, so for me to store this name and key, how much of memory space is required? Or for me to store this age which is nothing but a number, for me to store this age, how much of memory space is it going to take? How to decide that? That is decided always with the help of the data type. So that is the importance of data type in any of your programming language. So first thing is, data type helps me to classify the data, okay, into different types. It helps me to classify. So whether it is a string or whether it is a single character, whether it is a number. So if it is a number, is it a whole number, is it a fractional number? So it helps me to categorize. And why is this category very important is because based on this only, the memory space is going to be allocated. So how much of memory space is going to be required to store that information and keep is always decided with the help of the data type. Right. Say for example, Let us take a few examples. Okay, so now, common in any programming language you take, there is a data type called as int. Okay, there is a data type called as int. Int data type always represents whole numbers. It is used to represent whole numbers or full numbers. Like for example, when I store a mobile number, when I store the age of the person, then I will always make use of this category of data. So now whenever I say int, integer is the type of data, and integer occupies 4 bytes of memory. An integer is always allotted whenever you declare a variable of the integer type. Always 4 bytes of memory is going to be allotted for it. So whether you're learning C programming, C++, Java, C sharp, so in any of these programming languages, when I talk about the data type int, then 4 bytes, it is reserved. Okay, so like this, there are many data types available, and each and every data type has a specific memory allocated for it. So same way, I have a data type called as float. So float is a data type that is used to store some fractional value. Okay, like a floating point type. So whenever I declare a variable of this type, then it is always again going to occupy 4 bytes. So there is another category called as double. There is another category called as double. So double is also used to represent your floating point. That is, it is also used to represent fractional values. Now, when I declare any variable as a double, then it is going to occupy 8 bytes of memory. So like this, each and every data type has a specific number of bytes which are allocated for it. And why this data type is having this memory space is to store the data. So whatever value I want to store inside that variable, then for that, these number of bytes of memory is going to be utilized. So this is the basic concept of a data type. So basically, data means information. So the information I am going to gather from the user is going to be of different types, and these types are what we call as a data types. And what is the necessary of a data type is data types are used to decide the memory space. How much of memory space is used to it's required to store that particular data inside, that is decided with the help of the data type, right? So this is the basic concept of data types. Now when I talk about data types are of two things. Okay, data types can be classified into two categories. Okay, we can classify this into two categories. Now, what are these two categories? The first category is what we call as a statically typed data. Okay, we call this as a statically typed data. And the second concept, we call this as a dynamically typed data. So these are the two categories of your data type. So what it is? Statically typed is the first category. The second category is dynamically typed. Now what is these two? Let us try to understand what you mean by statically typed and what is this dynamically typed. Right, so for going for the first one. Okay, statically typed means before making use of the data type, we have to always specify the type. We have to always declare a variable before making use of a variable. Okay, that is in a program. Okay, when we talk about a program, what we have to do is we always have to declare a variable. So declare a variable before making use of it. This is what we call as a statically typed ones. Right, now in this, the first thing what you have to understand is the term variable. So what do you mean by this term variable? So we know that variables are nothing but names. Variables are what? We have already seen that. I hope you guys remember. So variables are nothing but names, okay, that are used to store some values. Used to store some values. Okay, now I'm said I have to ask the user for his age. So I'm saying enter your age. He is giving the age as 12. Where I'm going to store it? I need a name. I need a name to store this value 12 and keep it. That name is nothing but my variable. So variable are nothing but names that are used to store some values. Right. So now, as I was telling you, in a program, we always have to declare a variable before making use of it. So how will you declare? So if it is a statically typed program, how will I declare the variable is data type. This is the syntax of it. Data type, give a space, then comes your variable name, then equals to whatever value you want to store inside the variable, you're going to mention that, and then you're going to end it with a semicolon. So this is the syntax that you will be following. So please remember, first you have to mention the type of data. So whether it is going to be an integer, or is it going to be a string, or is it going to be a float, or is it going to be a single character, what type it is. So what type of data I want to store inside this variable name. I have to mention the type, then I have to mention the variable name, then I will be making use of the equal to. So what is this equal to? This equal to is nothing but what we call as an assignment operator. So remember, the equal to means assignment. So assignment means what? Whatever this value is there, this value I am going to store, I am going to assign for this particular variable. So let us take an example. I will say int age equals to 12. So here int is the data type, age is the name of the variable, equals to my operator, and what value it is going to store inside this age? The value is nothing but 1. So this value, whatever the value which is there in your right hand side, will be taken and get stored in the variable name specified on the left hand side. So always close it with a semicolon. So this is how we will be making use of the data type, the variables, and store the value in a statically typed programs. So always remember, without declaring, or this variable, we cannot make use of it. I cannot directly say something like this. I cannot in my program, I will say mobile number. This is the name of my variable, equals to. If I use like this is going to throw me an error, because the program will say that I don't know what is this MOBNO. This name I don't recognize. It doesn't belong to any particular data type. So what you have to do is, if you want to use it, first we have to declare the variable like this. Declare the variable like this. So what is the syntax I told you? Data type, then followed by the variable name. So once the variable has been declared, then we can make use of it in the program. Then we can say that mobile number equals to. So this is the value for this variable. So without the declaration, it is not possible. It is not possible for us to make use of the variable at all. So either you can declare the variable at the same time, assign the value also, or else first declare it and then you can assign the value anywhere else. So you can use either this method or this method. Anything is okay. So this is how we do it in a statically typed programs. So for example, so when you are learning C, when you're learning C++, when you're learning Java, when you're learning C hash, so all these programming languages falls under the statically typed categories. So in all these programming languages, whenever you want to store a data, the variable has to be declared. Without declaring the variable, we cannot make use of it directly in our program. So that is why these programming languages falls under the statically typed category. Right. Now, coming to the second part. Coming to the second part, we call that as dynamically typed programs. So now, what do you mean by dynamically typed programs is very simple. There is no need for you to declare a variable at all. So dynamically typed programs, no need to declare any variables. We can directly make use of it. Say for example, okay, say for example, I am directly saying age equals to 12. Done. Yes, this is correct. So I am saying mobile number equals to, I'm giving some things like this. Then again I'm saying email ID equals to, so string value. Remember one thing, whenever we are going to give a string value, we will put it within double quotes. So I'm just going to give the value like this. Done. So no need for you to declare the variable before making use of it. So what you're going to do, you're going to directly give the values. So I'm saying percent or per is equal to some variable name equals to 98.23. So now what is going to happen? When I execute these things, it is going to work perfectly because these are dynamically typed variables or dynamically typed things. There is no need for you to declare anything. So now what is going to happen is in a dynamically typed programs based on the values. So always remember this very carefully. Based on the value given, the data type is automatically decided for the variable names. So again I'm repeating very carefully, listen. Based on the data that I am going to assign, the data type is automatically decided for the variable. Suppose here I am giving the value as 12. So the age is going to be of what data type? It is going to be of integer data type. So based on the value, whatever value you are going to give, based on the value, the data type will be automatically decided. So for there is no need for you to declare that. No need for you to say that this variable is integer, this variable is a float, this variable is a string. No, all you have to do is just give some name equals to value. So based on the value that you are giving, the data type will be automatically taken by the program itself. So there is no need for the programmer to bother about it. So when I give something like this, then again it is going to be int. So when I give a value like this, then it is going to be of the type string. It is going to be of the type string. Then when you give a value like this, then default, by default it is going to take it as a float. So this is what you call as a dynamically typed programs. So remember, in a dynamically typed programs, there is no need for us to declare what type of data we are planning to store inside the variable. There is no need for you to declare that. We can simply give a variable name, we can say equals to, and we can assign the value for it. Based on what value we are assigning, the data type is automatically taken by the program. Right, so under this, under the dynamically typed, some examples. Python. So Python is a programming language which comes under this category. So it is a dynamically typed programming language. Same way, I have another language called as JavaScript. JavaScript also follows the same pattern. There also, you don't have to declare any variable. We can simply give the variable name equals to store some value inside. So this is the two categories of a data type. So always remember, it can be any data type, can be either of a statically typed programs or it can belong to a dynamically typed programs. Right. I hope you guys understood this. Right. So now we will move on specifically to Python. So this is data types in general. Okay, now when we are going to talk specifically about Python. So in Python, okay, so in Python, all your data types are inbuilt data types. So in Python, all the data types are inbuilt data types because it is a dynamically typed program. So I don't have to declare any data type. It is already available, and whatever based on the value that I am going to store, it is going to automatically take the data type. So let us just quickly have a look at. Yes. So I guess you guys can see here. So this is the basic inbuilt data types that are available with your Python. So these are the data types that we are going to be discussing one by one. In detail, we will be discussing about all these data types. Right. So now, when you see at all these data types, we are going to classify this into different categories. Okay, we are going to learn about all these data types. So we have int, float, complex, bool, str, list, tuples, set, dictionaries, none, range. We have bytes and we have byte arrays. So these are the basic inbuilt data types that are available with Python. So in this, okay, in this, what we are going to do is we are going to study about the basic primitive data types first. Okay, so what are these? What are the things which is there comes under this category is int, float, okay, bool, complex, and str. Okay, these five, okay, these five types are what we call as the basic primitive data types of your Python. So this is going to be our foundation or the base. Okay, so these are the five basic data types what we are going to be studying first. Right. Don't worry, I will tell you about all these things.